I love this woman. I love this woman. I I call her B and she calls me Z. And by the way, I got my Z. Do you have your B cup?
I do not.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared.
Oh my God, that's okay. I threw it at you. So anyway, that voice is of the acclaimed director, producer, writer, Betsy Chasse. Yay! Jazz hands. What's new?
You could see some of my kids' quarantine things that we've been doing.
Right.
In my background here, I just noticed. I'm good. How are you? Well, it's a little things are a little weird, but other than that, I'm good. I've been gardening, growing things.
Nice.
Writing, homeschooling.
Talk about writing. Okay. Oh I forgot that I had to do this, so excuse my pants.
Woo! I love it. I love it. I love it.
My Zoom pants.
I'm actually wearing pants now today because I got to go to the grocery store after this.
Very nice.
So my kids and I are going to go for a drive as our adventure. And then we're going to go to the grocery store.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I went through 60 boxes. I'm finally finished. Ta-da!
I did clean out my upstairs closet really well, so I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, it's interesting how, like, for a long time, we've all been going and going and going, and then there's this really funny meme there's a couple of them. There's one of them that says, like, we can't possibly shut down and close all the businesses to save the planet, and the planet's like, here's a plague, practice,
Oh my God.
And it's good because we're kind of being brought back inside. Oh, like a little bird just went flying into my patio. We're just sort of being brought back inside and, like, be able to notice those things and to just reconnect a little bit and walk around in our underwear, and it's cool. It's the way life should be. I think we should all just be allowed to walk. Well, okay, maybe there's a time and a place for when we should not walk around in underwear, but you know what I'm saying.
Who needs underwear? No.
I went with my son yesterday to the farmer's market. We went on a bike ride and it was really nice. And then we went to the farmer's market and we were like, should we go in? And we put on our masks, and it was so, I mean, I know there's a lot. I almost got run over by a car the other day by somebody who was really being a jerk. But for the most part, like, the people were everyone's just really realizing, like, oh, we're humans. Let's be nice to each other. It's been a nice awakening to that part of humanity again. I think we needed it.
Right. Yeah, well, we're going through it, so we got to deal with it. And yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm seeing on the news the animals are coming up to the windows and saying, humans, where are you?
Yeah, my cats are like, okay, look. I mean, they're sort of used to me being home all the time, but now it's me and the kids. They're like, look, we need to have a meeting because, this used to be our domain, and you pretty much left us alone because you worked all the time, and now we're having to entertain more. And my dog is like happy that he gets to go out on walks, and sometimes we open the front door and he just sits down. He's just like, listen, we've done this today a few times. I don't have to pee. I'm not going out. Like, leave me alone a little bit. So
I have a question. Yeah. I know that if I'm like looking like this, I'm looking right at you.
Yeah.
And the audience. But if I'm actually looking at you,
you still look like you're looking at me.
Is right here.
And by the way, for Zoom, here's some Zoom tips for people if they're going to film themselves. You want to try to I didn't do a very good job because my computer battery is low and I was plugging in, but normally I would try to sort of sit a little bit back and see how that's much nicer, you know, a little back and not be so like, you know, I want to sit back. And right now I have my headphones in, but I kind of want to, you know, and I don't have the best lighting because I'm overhead, so you reflect. But so I don't use me as an example of how to film a good Zoom interview, but I can make you look really good. First of all, lean the other direction and lean back a little bit. No, there you go. Yeah, you can lean up. You can sit up. Don't lean all the way back.
My swim trunks.
Try to clean the background a little, Dave.
I do, but I just finished my boxes.
I'm so proud of you.
By the way, I want to get to this before we get to the few other things we need to discuss. Those are my books that I'm loving right now. Of course, Terry Jules. I'm walking as straight as I can.
Straight as I can. What a hilarious woman. Love her. Love.
And she's doing a live reading now, you know.
I know. I saw that, but she's not doing it today.
No, she's not.
Or what? Well, today is a different day in the reality of the people watching.
Right. But,
so never mind. She might be doing it.
You can catch up on the ones that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah, that's true.
We have Robby Benson's book, which he is, oh my God, one of the sweetest persons. I'm Not Dead Yet.
I've not read that one. Is it funny?
Oh, it's about the heart. Okay. Yeah. And Jerry got it for me actually after my heart healing or during my heart healing.
Right.
And then Norman Lear's book, even this, I get to experience, which is so
So that's Norman Lear's, that's kind of my motto. So my favorite saying is by a writer named Jack Kerouac.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, be in love with your life, every detail of it. And so I love the title of Norman Lear's book because it's like my motto is like, I try to love my life even when it sucks, because that's a part of the journey.
Right.
You know, the truth is, and I hate to admit it sometimes because it's really annoying, but if we didn't have the lows, we wouldn't have the highs, right? So we need, you know, you can't have one without the other. So, you know, even this moment, when money is uncertain, like everything is uncertain. It's just like, okay, this is new. I get to even experience this.
Right. When you were saying all that, I said, I have to introduce you to my cousin Cheryl. You guys would like. And by the way, the fourth book, which I went over and showed my tuchus for.
Oh, that's me. That's my book.
That's you. There you are.
10 years younger, but that's okay.
Oh, you look the same.
I colored my hair red. This is my pandemic attempt at doing my own hair. I didn't cut it though. There's no cutting happening. I'm not doing that.
No, neither. I'm going to grow it long and slick it back. And
we're all just going to be like, you know, hippies by the time this is over.
You know, I have a question.
What?
We're going through all this stuff that we're going. My question is, what the bleep, Betsy?
You know, it's been inevitable. I mean, this particular current, you know, situation does not surprise me. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. But, you know, I mean, listen, we are, for lack of a better way to describe it, a virus spewing all over this planet. We're taking up resources, we're taking up space, we're digging up things. Somebody took a stone out of a sacred space and didn't put that shit back, which is why we're all doing this right now, I'm sure, right? I mean, you know, it's bound to happen. And, you know, for the people that have suffered in terms of their health or have had a loss, my heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
But I say, you know what? If this situation doesn't force humanity to take a good, long, hard look at how we are operating on this planet, then I don't know what will. Yeah. You know, like I watched that movie Crip Camp.
Brilliant.
I mean, that should be required viewing in every high school, because regardless of whether you have a disability or you don't, the profound wisdom and the determination and what it took to make change, the years and the commitment and the risk and the fight, that is such a profound, valuable lesson for every human on the planet.
Yeah.
Because that's what it takes to make change in the world. It takes that kind of commitment. And I just fell in love with that movie. I was like, I got so inspired and so excited and so like fired up and ready. It's like, it was such an inspirational piece for me.
By the way, this is a message to all those who are watching right now, because, because Betsy, by the way, is one of my favorite and one of I think the best documentary filmmakers out there. And that's why I said, what the bleep, because you directed and produced that.
I did. I was a writer, director, producer on that particular documentary. I was, yes.
What the bleep do we know?
The bleep?
And to all the students out there, your assignment,
we're going to talk
one of the assignments today is to watch Crip Camp.
Yes.
Watch Crip Camp. I want you to watch it. And I'll tell you more. That's the number one thing. I'll tell you what to do with it later, because we're going to be having both directors coming on.
Oh, congratulations. Gosh, I mean, it's a beautiful, so I teach documentary filmmaking.
Yeah.
And if anybody's interested, I do have a course that I'm in the middle of now, and I might do another one because people are now wanting, called the Documentary Filmmaking Masterclass. And we talk a lot about I have a book, actually you can order from Amazon, called the Documentary Filmmaking Masterclass by Betsy Chasse. And I talk about the 6 different modes of documentary filmmaking, the different styles. And one of the pieces that I loved about that film was how and this is going to become relevant to you guys because we're going to have a fun little contest. The way that they used the found footage, I called the B-roll and the footage from the camp. To me, that's kind of found footage. That was like, they already had all that footage, right? And so they used that as a beautiful foundation for the storytelling that then got elevated, because then you got the interviews with the real people, and you could see, like, you got this moment of like seeing somebody like 30 years later, you got to see them when they were young. And so there was this additional context given to these beautiful moments. And it was such a beautiful style of storytelling. So what we were going to talk about today, and what I've really been thinking about a lot, is that storytelling is the human tool for transformation. And like when you watch Crip Camp, they tell you a story in that. There's a story. It's not just about what these people did in order to change laws. Like that was the outcome, but there was a human story, and each person had a story. And you got into that movie because you fell in love with at least one or two characters in there that you began to really connect with through their story. And storytelling is one of the most profound gifts that we humans have. It's what keeps us going. And think about it. I'm not a big fan of this word particularly, but his story. How do we, for centuries there wasn't even the written word. We would just get our myth told through storytelling. Yeah. And our history was told from our ancestors by story. Even songs are stories. So stories are a powerful transformational tool. That movie changed me, because what happened when I watched that movie at the perfect moment, if you think about what's going on in the world, and I look out at the world and I get so frustrated at some of the things that are happening, and I was really feeling helpless. Like, well, what can I do? Sure, I have a big mouth, and yes, I can make movies, and yes, I can, but still I was feeling like I can't change this world.
Mm.
And then I watched that movie and I watched those people change the world.
Mm.
And it reminded me, yeah, I can change the world. Yes, I can. And so that was the gift of that storytelling for me, was it transformed me back into that fighter, that Betsy that will take on and go out and do things. Whereas I was really at a loss of it. And that's the power of story right there. You do that and you make a movie like Crip Camp and 1,000 people see it or 100,000 people see it, and they wake up with that emotion, because that's the underlying theme of that movie, is you can change the world. At least to me, that's what it was. Yeah. You've changed the world. I mean, I'm lucky to say that's what The Bleep did. You know, The Bleep was a perfect moment in time. We made a massive shift. And that's the power of storytelling.
Mm. And it reaches everybody.
Reaches everybody. I mean, think of how many people are watching that movie right now. You know, I'm a documentary nerd, so I love watching documentaries. And I think somebody else in my world posted, you got to watch Crip Camp. Just that's all they wrote. And I was like, all right, I'll put it on my list. And I didn't know anything about what it was. Like, I didn't even know what it was about, just because somebody said, here's a good doc. And so it reached me. Like, I probably maybe wasn't even, quote, their demographic or their tip, you know, but it changed me. I love that movie.
I did too. I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
And again. I mean, wow.
Well, now, structurally, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, they really, that is a very hard film to tell a story of, because you've got to go into the personal stories, you've got to move the story along, you've got the different historical moments of things that occurred. It's a very hard movie to put together, and they structurally, yes. And so they really, that was an editor's sort of like, you know about editing, right? So they really nailed it.
Yeah.
Please tell them when you interview them that, like, I'm like a ginormous fan. It was amazing.
I will. I'm gonna post this on their wall too, so they can see your interview. So you have an assignment for the Meet the Biz and Performing Arts Studio West family.
I do. So what I want everybody to do, if you want to, and there are prizes involved, and David will explain all the logistics of how this is going to work.
Prizes. Actually, the biggest gift is doing it, but
it is. I've done it. Like I said, I'm teaching this documentary class, and my documentary filmmaking class is based on a course that I used to give to master's students. And one of the things that I used to do with them, because they'd already gone, they already had their bachelors, they all thought they were these fancy schmancy awesome filmmakers, blah, 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 blah. And they were. I mean, I'm not dissing them, but I gave them a challenge of making a 1-minute documentary every week. And the first time that we did this experiment, in the beginning, everyone was like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is hard. I don't want to do this. But by the end, we all had just these amazing transformational moments, because each week we would pick a theme. And the idea is to just tell your story. So the theme is going to be quarantine. The theme is quarantine. So there's no rules in terms of, you can film it on whatever you want to film it on, your phone, your video camera, like, I don't care. You can edit it in any software that you want. We would like for you to try to use royalty-free music, because otherwise it'll be hard at Facebook or other places. If you've got something that's owned by somebody else, they will mute it, just so everybody knows. And the idea is to share your experience, because when we can tell our own stories, it's healing. It's healing for us. That's why we love to sit and tell each other stories about my life, my day, my week, whatever. So it's healing for us. And then when you watch somebody else's story and you relate and you begin to feel not alone, you're healing them. So it's like this double whammy healing. And it's fun. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, I made one because I needed to make one quickly. And a couple of weeks ago, about a year ago now, literally, I moved into a 3-bedroom condo with a little patio. And you've been to my house. I used to have a ginormous yard with big gardens. And so I was sort of feeling like, oh, I can't really have a garden. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to take this patio and I'm going to grow whatever I can. I'm going to garden the bejesus out of this 4x8 foot patio, man. And so I filmed myself, time lapse, building my garden. And if I hadn't been quarantined, I probably would have found other things to do.
Yeah.
And it was just in this moment of taking the time and touching the soil and putting the seeds that I found my peace. And so that was my little 1-minute movie. And so make a 1-minute movie. And then what we're going to do is David and I, how's it going to work? Are we going to judge, or are we going to put them on their Facebook page? And how does it work?
Oh God.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But you need to have this sent to me by June 1st, 2020. That gives you like
a month and a
half. By the time this will go up next week, so it'll be about a month.
Yeah.
For you to do a 1-minute film.
Right.
Exactly what Betsy said. So
in any style, you can have dialogue, you can do interviews, you can make it all photographs if you want. There's no rules in terms of different modes or different tools that you want to use. You can do whatever you want to do. The only rule is that it cannot, including credits and everything, it cannot be longer than 1 minute.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
You are the creator. You are the creator. And, going back to that word that you said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And here's the thing. I think perfection is imperfection.
Well, I look at stories that, I'm a film snob, and sometimes I'll look at camera angles and things like that.
Right.
Depending, if it's a multi-gazillion-dollar movie, they better look good, right?
Right.
But what I think these kinds of little movies offer is authenticity and vulnerability and truth.
Yeah.
And that will, if you're authentic and you're vulnerable and you're sharing from an open-hearted space, it doesn't matter necessarily what it looks like, because that frequency screams through a movie.
Mm.
And so that's more important to me than whether you got the right camera angle or lighting or, at the end of the day, people, especially now, because if we share these stories and you guys put them on your Facebook pages and you put them out in the world, like, you're going to start healing people. You're going to heal yourself, and everybody who watches it's going to have a moment of peace. And that's what we're doing. We're dropping little 1-minute bombs of peace all over the place.
And it's another way to bring us all together.
Because you guys can share your own films with each other. Mm-hmm. And there'll be prizes. So I think there's 3 prizes, right?
3 prizes.
First, second, and third place.
Yes, first, second, and third. I talked to John Paces, the head of Performing Arts Studio West, and he said, "Oh yeah, we've got some prizes coming. So we're going to work out that June 1st. It has to get to me the latest by June 1st. You could email it, and if it's, I don't know if it'll go through email or
Let me give you some tips. Yeah, we transfer.
Transfer's better.
We transfer is better. Or you can use you can also use Google Drive.
Okay.
Like, what you could do is you, David, could create a Google Drive and invite people that want to, they can upload it and you could download it. That's another way.
That's very possible. Well, the thing I know now is we transfer, but I will look into the Google Drive as well. But here's the email, and this is open. This is open for Meet the Biz, Performing Arts. The email is David, DAVID, at PASTCHASSE, PAStudiowest.com. That's PAstudiowest.com. David at PAstudiowest.com.
And you'll put it in a link or somewhere. But yeah, I'm excited to see these. You know, when I did this with my class, we've had such laughter and connectivity and relatability. And, you know, one of the women in my class is a mom, and we were having a hilarious moment because she and I are trying to homeschool. And, you know, it made you feel so much better and so much more connected. And because at the end of the day, our stories are our gifts and our tools for transforming ourselves and others.
Yeah. Well, thank you for transforming us, Betsy.
Aww, Z.
And we look forward to having you back sometime in June to pick the winners, and who knows, maybe they will join us.
Oh, that would be so much fun. That's what I want. I want you guys to meet the filmmakers.
Yeah. So we could, the winners will also be on Meet the Biz.
Yay, love it.
I love it too. Thank you, and stay safe and send love to your family.
I will. Mwah.
Mwah. Okay, this is going to be fun. Here is the info again for the Betsy Chasse assignment. Make a 1-minute film. Its theme, quarantine. Film it on anything you want. A phone, a video camera, anything, whatever. Edit it on any software you would like. Use royalty-free music. The idea is to share your own experience. And again, remember the theme is quarantine. Type, any style, anything you like. Could be here, could be there. There's one rule though. It cannot be longer than 1 minute. That includes credits. And you need to send it by June 1st, 2020 to or through via WeTransfer. That's www.wetransfer.com to David at PAstudiowest.com. And that's DAVID at PAStudiowest.com. And everything will be listed as well underneath the interview, the video on YouTube, so you could look it out. Look at it there. So again, it's due by June 1st, 2020, and there will be prizes. First, second, and third prize place. And the winners will be coming on Meet the Biz with Betsy and myself sometime in June. And for more info, watch this interview again. All right, so have fun, and we'll see you soon. And looking forward to seeing what you bring to us. All right, and create from you.